What's up, guys? This is Chris here, and today we have a pretty cool new gun for you. Today, I just got my hands on the brand new Bodyguard 2.0 Performance Center. Now, this is a updated version of a gun that I really like from last year, and I think is one of the better carry guns on the market, especially for a small, light gun. Now, this gun is a striker-fired polymer frame 380 pistol, and it comes with two magazines. It comes with this magazine right here, 12-round mag with a little bit of a finger extension on it. Then it comes with the 10-round magazine here, which is the flush fit. Now, the old Bodyguard, this is a 2 3/4 inch barrel, something like that, where the new one adds about a 1/2 inch onto it right there, as you can see that. Not just adds about a 1/2 inch, but it also adds a single port comp in the slide. Not a very big single port comp, but 380 is not a very big round. So we're gonna have to see today if that actually helps out with us in recoil control or not. Now, the nice thing is, since the gun runs just iron sights, you do get a little bit longer slide, although I think you get about the same sight radius as the original just because you add the comp in front of it there. The sight is switched, as you can see. They actually have a orange HD front on the original, and then on the new one, there is a yellow HD dot. So it's a little easier to see, a little bit of slide milling on the front and on the top here. I don't know if that's gonna make much of a perceivable difference in running the gun, but it does look pretty cool. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Bodyguard is a brand new gun for 2024, and this one's new for 2025. These were kind of revolutionary because they are the first tiny little 380 that people actually thought, like, man, people have to shoot this gun. So we're gonna actually have to make it relatively ergonomic. The grip itself feels really good. You can get really high up on the gun, and the trigger on the gun is better than almost any 380, and probably the original, at least, was the most shootable micro 380 I've ever had. Adding a compensator to it and a brand new sight should make it slightly more shootable, so I figured it'd be worth going out here and shooting it, especially since I've been carrying this gun quite a bit lately. If I go out in my basketball shorts, if I'm working out, or if I'm out running, or if I go get the mail or something, this is kind of a constant companion for me lately, especially when I walk the dogs. It's really nice and lightweight, but I can still shoot it at decent distances. So it's a fun gun to carry. This might be even better for me. And the reason why I say that is because compensator might help out a little bit, but primarily it's got a little bit longer slide, which I like. And on top of that, this one also has a extended magazine on it, so I can get a little bit extra purchase on the gun, and it should make it even more shootable, which is really nice. Now, these guns are extremely lightweight, but they are shockingly lightweight if you're used to a 9mm or something like that. And they still carry 10 to 12 round capacity. 12 plus 1 is no joke. Now, before I go over and shoot it, I do want to mention my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much. It's because of you guys we have ammunition and cool stuff, and we bought ammunition for this video today with the Patreon dollars. If you want to support the channel, that is the best way to do it. Just go to that link in the description below and sign up. Also in that description is a local shelter in Ames, Iowa. It's the YSS. Those kids could really use your help, so please go down there and donate to those kids. And then finally, I do want to thank Smith Wesson. Now, Smith Wesson did send us this gun for the video. That will not change our opinion, and we're going to go out and shoot it today, and you're going to see every round that's fired, and you can make your opinion up for yourself. All right, we're gonna start out here at 55 yards, which might be a little bit more than I can chew for the 380, but we'll try it out. We have Federal 380 in here, and we'll see how we do with the first rounds through the Bodyguard. I hit that thing?
You did.
Ooh.
Nice job.
That one went off left. Well, that one better than I thought.
It never locks back on the Bodyguard, guys. For you.
Well,
anyway.
that's because, so I'll show them why.
Yeah.
So I'm a 1911 guy, which means I'm old as shit. And what I do is I ride safeties. And what happens with these new striker-fired polymer frame guns like this, or the Canic, or the VP9, is they put this slide release here. And what happens then is my big dumb thumb rides the slide release, and it's like, I'm gonna push the shit out of that thing.
Yep.
Which is also why I don't get any malfunctions. A lot of times you'll see people shoot and they get a false malfunction where the slide release pushes up and locks the gun back. I'll never have that because I'm always cranking that thing down. All right, so let's try this out at about 35 yards here. One thing I've noticed is the magazines are a little bit tough to get in the gun, but it is a brand new gun. Well, that kind of sucked, to be honest with you. All right, so I have heard rumors that sometimes these bodyguards shoot fairly left. The reason why I have trouble believing that sometimes is because it's a very small gun and it's got sort of a carry trigger. And oftentimes when people have small guns that are light, that have a little bit heavier triggers, they almost always pull it to the left. So I'm gonna try to shoot this because in all honesty, I don't know if I'm shooting like shit or not, but the last few times I was shooting, it was shooting actually 1 to 2 feet to the left. Now the sights themselves are drifted perfectly. You can see they're equal light on both sides. So I wonder if this is me, but we're gonna print it down there and see if there's a consistent group one way or the other. All right, it's a decent group over there. Let's go check it out. Now that's what I thought right there. So trigger control being bad, probably most likely low and left, if not left. I have a pretty decent group. This is a 10-yard group. So if you consider my thumb, the thumb scale, that's probably about a 2-inch group at 10 yards. And it's about, I would say, 2 inches off from where it should be, high to the left. So it's hard for me to say if that's the gun or not at the moment, but honestly, I sort of feel like that is the gun because I feel like I'm shooting pretty good today, and that's a pretty good group for a small gun. So I don't know if we'll have to drift the rear sight, but I felt as though the gun was off right out of the box, and I feel like that might be the case. All right, we got another magazine loaded up. We're back at 10 yards. I'm gonna be shooting at the letter A right now. For those of you who went to public school, that is the first letter in the alphabet. I heard 40% of you can't read. I went to public school, just to let you know. All right, let's go take a look at that group. Now that is not trigger control in my opinion. We're at 10 yards and that is the exact same spot the previous one is. So I would say that the rumors appear to be true, or at least in this case, and this gun does appear to be shooting 2 inches left. Now my original Bodyguard was spot on, but this one, the brand new one, seems to be 2 inches to the left. So if that's the case, the actual front sight and the rear sight are both driftable, so we'll beat on it a little bit. All right, so I got a couple of half mags in here. We'll do a little reload drill. I got like 2 or 3 rounds in here, and then 2 or 3 rounds in a magazine in my pocket. And then what I want to demonstrate here is how difficult it can be to reload a small gun with a small magazine from your pocket. So hopefully I do it well, but we'll see. Say when.
Help! Well, that wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but I've shot a few guns.
I got a little carried away there. I was not focusing on my trigger control. I don't hate it. Come out.
I think it shoots really well.
Yeah, it actually really does. I do think that port helps because I did not like the original very much. Not bad.
Nice.
The reset's really weird for me. I had 2 of them where I didn't push it out far enough.
Yeah, so that's one of the complaints I've been hearing about. It's like a false reset. You kind of feel like it's reset and then it didn't. It actually did it to me when I was first shooting as well. And now I'm just revolvering it, just letting it go all the way out a little bit and pulling it back in. It hasn't done it to me since then, but I actually heard from a guy at the gun shop where I picked this up that the previous Bodyguards do that.
Okay.
All right, so this is the new Bodyguard here. I figured I'd give you a little ASMR, show you the features up close. This is the new serrations on the top here. They're pretty good, they're usable. The old ones were pretty usable too. A little bit more serrations on the side of the slide. Sorry, it's 104 out here and this is very, very hot. And we just shot, I think, like 6 mags through it. The compensator's working really well. The front sight's not getting obscured by dirt or debris or anything like that from the comp, which is really good. You can see the sight picture here is really nice. It's just a flat black rear with a HD front. Grip feels really good. Trigger is really, really nice. Want to give it a little size comparison with the original. You can see there, the original is not that much smaller. Basically just add the comp and that's it. And then the slide cuts and then the front sight. Now what I wanted to show you is a size comparison between the Bodyguard and regular guns. So this is the Canic Prime here, which is not a big gun. This is a subcompact like X. I guess they would call this a micro compact. You can see that it's much bigger than the Bodyguard. Oh! It's accurate enough.
Oh my God.
Little tack reload. You got to double tap those poppers to put them down. That shows the immense power of the 380 cartridge. Immense power. It's like the 5.7. Blow you back. Like, you know, in the movies when somebody gets hit with a shotgun, they shoot back like 40 feet. That's what the 380 does. I like it.
Woo!
You know, I've gotten my grip down so it doesn't bite me.
Nice.
Yeah. Which is nice, but obviously in a situation where you'd use this gun, you know, you wouldn't really think about it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So you're definitely gonna
build it in training.
Right.
You know, shoot it 1,000 times, and then when you actually have to use it, if you ever do, you know, you'll do it without thinking.
I get you.
Is the idea.
Oh.
Now that went pretty well, I would say. We shot about 200 rounds of Federal 380 through the gun. Now, what do I think of it overall? Well, I think the original Bodyguard is a very, very good gun. And I think this upgrades on a couple of things. First off, I like the front sight. I like that it's yellow. Honestly, I originally preferred the orange, but I gotta tell you, the yellow is a little easier to see, especially in bright sunlight. So it was easier for me to track the front sight going quick, which I did like. As far as the new slide serrations go, to be completely honest with you, I didn't see a difference, not in actual use. Do they look cooler? Sure, they look a little cooler, but are they a little more useful? I'm not sure they are or not, because the original slide serrations are very, very good. These may be a little bit better, but I don't think the average person is going to notice. The real star of the show here is obviously going to be the single port comp. Now, the single port comp is not a large comp by any means, as you can see that, but it is definitely large enough for the 380 pistol. It's actually about the same size as the Canic TTI Combat, which is kind of funny, but this one actually works very well. As far as low recoiling pistols go, this is definitely the shit, in my opinion. If you're looking for a small, light recoiling carry gun that still has enough oomph to actually do something, I think 380 is on the borderline of useful. Obviously, all calibers are useful if you hit your target. 22 is obviously very effective if you put it right where you need to. That being said, 380 and 9mm and self-defense cartridges in general are judged on penetration. How far can you penetrate? Can you shoot through the side of something and hit what you need to hit? Can you defeat certain barriers, drywall, things like that? In which case, the 380 is probably the minimum for that. And considering you're packing, well, 12 plus 1 of 380 in this tiny little package, I would say it's, again, a very formidable little handgun. And definitely wouldn't feel unarmed if I was carrying this. As a matter of fact, I carry this one pretty frequently if I don't have jeans or a belt or something on there, because I can take the holster and just stuff it in my mesh shorts. The gun itself functions very well. The shootability was really, really good, and the reliability was really good. Now, we did have two issues. Now, the first issue had was the false reset issue. Now, I'm not actually sure what that is. I've heard people talk about that. However, for me personally, I think when I had it at the beginning, I think it was me not pulling the trigger and resetting it all the way, because it does have a little bit longer reset than what I'm accustomed to right now anyway, which is 2011s. I've been shooting a lot of 2011s, very short reset, so I think I initially reset it a little bit short, because in actual operation and after I got used to shooting the gun, we didn't have that at all. Bubs also had that on the first magazine and then didn't have it, so I really think it's probably a training issue more than anything. Now, what's not a training issue is going to be the sight setup. Now, this I was a little unhappy with, I will admit. It is a very nice set of sights. The problem is they are not pointed where the gun shoots. Now, I've heard that people have issues with these guns shooting left, and usually I laugh those issues off. And the reason why is because if I hear somebody's gun shoots low and left, I immediately assume it's them who shoot low and left. Most common mistake when it comes to trigger control is pointing the gun left if you are a right-handed shooter, because it is the path of least resistance after all. It's where your hand isn't on the gun, and usually people shoot with a very weak left hand. That being said, my mechanics are pretty sound for the most part. I'm not the best shooter in the world, but I'm above average. And I actually shot this consistently left the entire time we actually shot the gun. I know I talked about drifting the sights, however, we did not, because I didn't have my drift tool out there, and I want to go back to the house and put this in a vise and then drift it accordingly. And it was just hot. It's like 110 or something like that with the heat index right now, and we just didn't feel like it. So we were just basically aiming right that entire time, a couple of inches, and it's no big deal to do that if you know where your gun hits. That being said, obviously, when I get back in the house, I'm going to drift it. If I'm going to use it for serious use, the gun is going to want to hit where I want it to. So that kind of sucks. I initially, as I said, thought that was going to be a training issue. However, I mean, my groups were consistently left 2 inches each time from 10 yards. And then obviously, as you go further and further out, by the time I was shooting at 50 yards, I was literally aiming on the right edge of the plate. At 50 yards, you're probably more like 10 inches off. So quite a bit. Now, people are going to be shooting at 50 yards with a 380. Most people would say no. However, occasions like that do happen. As a matter of fact, I do carry this gun when I walk the dogs, and if there was a coyote 50 yards away, you bet your ass I'd be taking a shot at him. That being said, I would prefer to have my gun as accurate as possible, so I will be drifting the sight, and that is kind of a knock on the gun out of the gate. Aside from the sights being off, it was a very accurate pistol. The groups were left by 2 inches, but they were all very tight, especially for a 380. And the reason for that is it's a very shootable gun. There's a bigger, more ergonomic grip than most 380s that you'll find, and it also has by far the best trigger of any 380 you'll find, making this not only a very inherently accurate pistol if the sights are on, but it also makes it a very, very shootable pistol, which is why I carry the damn thing. I like to hit when I'm aiming at whatever gun I have, and I don't carry a gun just because it's small. If it's too small for me to shoot, I don't carry the thing. Now, I really like the ergonomics of the Bodyguard, but what I like most about the Bodyguard is the thinness. It's incredibly thin, as you can see that right here, especially for a gun that packs 12+1. Very, very, very thin, like 3/4 of an inch thin, very thin. And my favorite part about it is the weight. I think the weight on this is what, like 12 or 14 ounces? It's stupid lightweight. So lightweight that you barely notice it's even there. And this one here actually has a long enough sight radius that I can actually hit some stuff with when I drift the sights. And on top of that, it has the grip module at the bottom there for the extended magazine, which I will be carrying because it allows me to draw the gun better. I like a really solid purchase when I draw the gun, and I like to have the bottom of my pinky on there for recoil control so I could pile those rounds off. But I don't like carrying a lot of weight, especially when I don't have a belt on, because then your pants sag and stuff like that. So this is really the best of both worlds for me. It allows me to have a large grip, a decent capacity, a shootable gun, while simultaneously being so lightweight, I don't even know it's there. So disappointed a little bit that it was a little bit off, but everything else was absolutely excellent, and I'm pretty excited for this. I already have a holster on the way, by the way. I carry a shield, and I carry this fairly frequently as well. So I'm gonna go in and, like I said, drift the sights, and then this is probably gonna go right into my carry rotation. 200 rounds is not a review, so we will be shooting another at least 800 to maybe 1,800 rounds before the next time you see this pistol. Probably do some reliability tests on it as well, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. What is your opinion? What's your opinion of the Bodyguard? Do you guys have these sight issues? Did you guys have that false trigger reset? And honestly, have you guys been able to get a hold of one of these lately? Because they're very hard to find in the wild. So let me know your opinions and your experience with the Bodyguard. It'll help me formulate my review. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you want to see this compared to anything besides maybe the original Bodyguard, let me know in the comment section below. Please help out your local homeless shelters and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.